Arcane Season 2 is off to an incredible start. French studio Fortige spared no expense to push the envelope at what animation can achieve. The mixing of styles to express heavy emotions is one of the coolest things the medium can do, and right away in the first episode we see that with Caitlyn's mother's funeral. The black and white stencil style with the slow moving frames in the background, while Caitlyn and Vi remain in the original colorful style, was amazing. This is the kind of creativity and artistic intention that makes Arcane what it is. We see the same in the opening scene in the following two episodes. Every opening has a different style to express the atmosphere of the upcoming episode. Everything is deliberate to elevate the world and the characters. The animated medium is limitless, and Arcane uses every aspect of it to expand its universe. Alright, spoilers now. The story is as always intense. Vi and Caitlyn are at the forefront with their feud against Jinx. There is a lot of mixed emotions there, with Caitlyn diving deep into her anger and Vi trusting in Caitlyn's leadership. Vi trusting Caitlyn's plan to go into Zaun not as an army but instead as a small elite strike force in order to bring Jinx to justice. All this goes to a whole new level when Caitlyn and Vi decide to use a sentient poisonous gas called the Grey to clear the streets and hunt down Jinx. And I gotta say right off the bat, nah, you're using chemical weapons to hunt down your sister armed with hex tech and becoming an enforcer? The same enforcers that killed your parents, and you're terrorizing your former home? Vi is on some bullshit. But funny enough, a lot of it is because Caitlyn is on some bigger bullshit by using her anger to fall into her privileged perspectives and treat the people of Zaun like animals and speak about them as if they don't deserve dignity or human rights. We see that anger escalate into full-blown authoritarianism at the end of episode 3, where Caitlyn is planted as the general of Piltover. I like how the season is flipping storylines on their heads by showing this villain origin story and just how Caitlyn's good intentions in season 1 all dissipated as soon as Jinx killed her mother. Not to mention Vi throwing away the idea of Jinx as a sister and instead as a monster to an extreme level. Meanwhile, there is a power vacuum in Zaun after the death of Silco, and three leaders are engaging in a dangerous turf war. Savika's doing her best to keep it all together, but she's struggling. I actually really like the idea of her teaming up with Jinx. It makes sense since they were the two most trusted lieutenants of Silco. One was obviously like a daughter to him, so it is a little different, but Savika is hella loyal to Silco, and she knows that he would have relied on Jinx. This is all in spite of the fact that Jinx killed Silco, something that only she knows now that Rat Homie got obliterated. The Ambessa arc is super fascinating as well. The manipulation game she's playing is pretty obvious to viewers, but it's still a lot of fun to see it play out. We know little about Noxus, but the way they're hyping it up makes it sound super exciting. I can't wait to see more of that world spill over into Piltover. Now let me get to Echo and Heimerdinger, who are now with Jace trying to figure out what is happening to Arcane. Like, Arcane in general. This is all super fascinating to me. I have zero knowledge on League of Legends, so I love learning about the lore and the breakdown of the magic system in this world. I personally think it's going to lead into space and time type shit, which is time travel and maybe multiverse stuff, but I'm curious to see how the storyline turns out. I actually have a fun theory that maybe Victor is the one that inspires little Jace that we keep seeing in the flashbacks. Finally, speaking of Victor, I'll end my thoughts on him. I love Victor. As I said before, I have no knowledge of where his storyline goes, but I love how he's always been a real one. He was day one against weapons and against the antagonization of the Undercity. He made it very clear that that's still his home and he will protect human life over everything. Now it looks like he's becoming Jesus? His new powers allow him the ability to heal, and it may possibly be to the detriment of his own well-being, but I'm incredibly locked into his character because I feel like him and Echo are the only ones on some real shit in this world. Victor always wanted to help others, and it looks like his new powers will help him do that. Those are my thoughts on Act 1 of Season 2 of Arcane. Let me know what you guys thought of Act 1 in the comments down below.